Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Slightly ill boy from eating food earlier, boy here, but welcome to the Austria Ring. Welcome to the A1 Grand Prix. Welcome, of course, more recently to the Red Bull Ring. I am Mr. Evil Dragon XXL. My co-commentator, unfortunately, is not here. He's doing go-karting tomorrow's, which is the reason he can't be here today. So, joining me for the second or third time this season in Podium, one of the three, he'll tell us in a minute how many he's been so far. It's Luke. Say hello, Luke.
Hello, Liam. Hello, everyone. I think it's third podium race, second one I've done with you, and what a circuit to do it at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. One of the shortest tracks on the calendar in terms of time, the shortest track on the calendar. We're talking probably a sub 63 second pole lap around this circuit. It was 1 minute 3.1, I think, in the points tier, so extremely quick circuit. DRS is extremely powerful. We could see some action around here. We could see a really good race, and we might even get a different result in the championship, although judging by the consistency of Casper, I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, Casper currently leads the championship on 78 points. That, of course, being a little bit away from second position, 19 points to be exact, to JM69. He's currently on 59 points, and then back 11 to the battle for third and fourth, both of them on 48 points, that being Colin and Mr. Cloudy Balloon, just hoping for a spot of sunshine in this race. Neon in 5th position, ahead of Mr. Cammy Boy in 6th. Ali B down in 7th, ahead of Estimat in 8th on 18 points. Very close fought battle between 7th, 8th and 9th. Especially, to actually be fair, pretty much everyone down from 7th to 14th. Very close together, because you've got Ali B on 20, SD on 18. We've got Lamperin on 14, with Jonas also on 14. Richie in 11th on 13 points, ahead of Tech on also 11 points, with Apex Rogue as well on 11 points. 9 for Konkofner in 14th position. He is then ahead of Gogs, Speed Risky, and the Bannister, who's hoping to climb up the order.
I like it. I like it. Well, there'll be plenty of climbing going on. It's one of the tracks that I think we're all famous for, the many altitude ranges that you see here in the Styrian Mountains. And we all know it's Styria because of the Styrian Grand Prix last year and this year, now that they've had to get rid of the Turkish Grand Prix. A part of me do wish as they'd picked one of the other 100 maybe modifications of the French Grand Prix circuit, and who knows, they might have come up with an interesting one at some point. But that's enough about the real F1. Let's get on to tonight's action. 18-minute qualifying, of course, 36 laps race. It won't be too much over 36 minutes, to be perfectly honest, at just over a minute a lap. 4.318 kilometres. Probably one of the simplest circuits in Formula 1. 10 corners, 3 to the left, one of those being the flat-out turn 2, which really is not a corner, even for an old-fashioned Formula 1 car, never mind a modern F1 car. 7 to the right, 3 different types of tyres, of course, for C4, C3s and C2. Normally you see a few issues with tyre wear around here. Of course, that is not going to be a problem with the compulsory two-stop strategy, so the drivers don't really have to worry about that. I'll be very surprised if we see the hard tyres. Who knows, though? It is Austria. There's been quite a lot of wet races around here. We could even get a bit of rain. That could change everything.
Most certainly indeed. Going over, by the way, and seeing it is currently sunny, by the way, with an air temperature of 22 degrees, a track temperature of 30 degrees here in qualification. But whilst we are getting ready for everyone to jump out on track, let's go through our beautiful sponsors, which I did last week without butchering. So let's see if we can go on 2 on the rot. And of course, we say thank you to Next Level Racing, sponsors of the league, by providing a GT-like cockpit as a prize to our giveaway winner. Also, thank you to Liam RBS, sponsor for our trophies list season. And don't forget to follow his Twitch as well, at Liam RBS as well. 3M Sim Racing, sponsors of the league, providing a pair of their sim racing gloves to the driver with the most poles and the driver with the most fastest lap as well. And of course, thank you to our partners, Vespertine, partnered with Vespertine, who supports our championship prize in the ERT, the Going Get Tough one. Don't forget, we've got a lovely collaboration with our Time to Print of this week's track with Austria, which is going to be a very small thing indeed, but of course, good things come in small packages, most certainly. And don't forget to get 20% off their SD store using One Hub Racing, and that is all capital letters as well.
Very, very professionally done, Liam. The drivers are now heading out on circuit. Most of them obviously going for the out-laps on a set of the soft tyres, as you would expect around this circuit. You're not really going to be able to, with such a short gap, I think getting in the top 10 on a set of mediums when it's a 0.8 second difference is going to be extremely difficult. And we have been told by Rachel, who's supporting Colin again tonight, that it is going to be a dry qualifying and a dry race. And a few drivers were talking about in the pre-race interviews what they thought about this track and whether they were seeking a wet race. Colin said he wouldn't mind it, but a dry one definitely does make things simpler. And a few other drivers, like for example Waitsy, were saying a dry race would be good. And I think that's because you don't need too much downforce around here, so it can be very tricky with the traction in the wet.
Yeah, very certain this circuit here. One of those tracks where you either have to sacrifice downforce for the corners because of its straight, but then it's got quite a lot of straight. So really, it's kind of a situation of which would you rather, cornering speed or straight line speed here, because, well, I mean, there's not a lot of corners, but there isn't a lot of straight lines either.
I think you've got to go for the straight line around this circuit with downforce. Where you really need it's the medium speed corners. You've only really got that at the middle part of the circuit. A lot of it is all about the traction zones, as we see Okiki just coming through some of them now. He's not had the greatest start to the season yet to get any points. He's really hoping for a fantastic performance tonight. He's he's a cold driver in this tier for not doing Max Fantasies any favours, and he didn't get any favours done by that Red Bull there, completely getting in the way of Okiki, who heads towards the finish line. A 103.558 from him, 103.163 from his teammate Colin, so a pretty decent lap there from Colin, matching obviously what we saw from pole position earlier on in the points tier. And Okiki is one of our race premium drivers. If you're interested in becoming a race premium driver in One Hub, you get yourself a shout out, you get guaranteed season entry, you get perks into the better teams, and of course you do get that season entry covered for an entire season. So something to definitely check out if you're interested on the One Hub website.
Indeed, meanwhile, through the last corner, Risky, let's see where he can go. He's getting a bit frisky through the last corner. Well, he's currently in 7th position, the land of the Ferrari so far, because Cam being in 9th, not too far back as well. Rich put in a purple sector 1 right a few minutes ago, but he's currently lies himself in 8th position. Let's see if it's going to be continuation on list lap as well. Let's see then, crossing the thing, it's 28.5. 2-0 in the second sector. It is up, but how much up is it? Well, he's going to get past one of the racing points. That'll be Casper coming the pit lane. He's invalidated his lap time and is taking the Mercedes lawnmower techniques into the pit lane.
Yes, he is indeed. The drivers have been warned about the pit entry. It is quite a tricky one around here, sort of on that right-hand side of the circuit. It is something that they've said you don't have to actually fully follow the entry of the pits. You can take the penultimate entry, the penultimate corner as usual, and then pit after the corner. And I know quite a few other leagues have been quite strict about pit entry around here, so we'll have to see whether the drivers are aware about that. And also, if we see any overtakes going into that penultimate corner and someone decides to go for the pit lane, that could cause a bit of chaos. So that's going to be one to watch out for in the race as Lamby spins off, coming through turn 6 there, manages to get onto the tarmac bit of runoff, so recovering there shouldn't be too much of a problem, but not what he wanted. Just ran a bit wide coming through turn 6, kicked up a bit of gravel, didn't have any chance of saving that car.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there. Meanwhile, passing him is Mr. Casper. So far, purple sector 1. Let's see what he can do at the rest of the circuit through the last 2 corners. Let the car run as wide as you can through here, and then all the way to the line. Let's see what it's going to be. And 3rd position so far, then, for the championship leader. Not bad, of course, around this circuit. And we are expecting times potentially to drop into the 1 minute 2 as the guys get a little more confident in qualification and their true out-and-out pace comes on. Cam, by the way, down in 10th position. He did set a sector 1 that was purple just a few moments ago, but is now, of course, down there in 10th position. We've got Estimat in the pit lane. He also set the fastest middle sector so far of this thing. Of course, though, the fastest last sector being to Colin. So, 3 different drivers with 3 different fastest sectors. JM in the middle, meanwhile, has no fastest sectors, but is 2nd position. So, definitely the most consistent on an entire lap.
Yeah, that's all what it's about, keeping that consistency, keeping it clean with the track limits as well. We'll see a lot of invalidations around here in qualifying. We might see the odd few penalties as well. Jonas is just starting up. He's doing like a second warm-up lap, almost like a prep lap, like what we saw in real life with the Portuguese Grand Prix, so that time not representative at the moment, down in 14th place. And he was the driver that was called into the driver's press conference saying that they seem to be doing okay in the Constructors' Championship. At this moment in time, Red Bull are currently third in the Constructors, but that is a long way behind his teammate, just 14 points compared to the 48 of Claudia Ballones. And they were asking Jonas, is that going to change this week? And he said he needs to improve in qualifying and the races. And even though overtaking is fairly easy around this circuit, you do need to get qualifying right, because you do not want to be stuck in those DRS trains.
Yeah, most certainly. DRS trains around this circuit. We've seen it in real life. We've seen it especially in League Racing in the previous seasons. We've seen so many slipstream trains around here, the DRS trains. And if you're the lead car, and this is to be fair in real life, when dirty air isn't affecting it too much, you are a sitting duck. Fernando Alonso, remember in the Spanish Grand Prix, a sitting target for pretty much the last of those laps, remaining his tyres were a bit far gone as one of the Ferraris gets out of the way down the back. Jonas, meanwhile, did not improve his lap time much. He didn't use DRS down up the hill either, so is he going to go on for a third flying lap? It looks like he is, to be fair here, Luke. So 3 different laps then, so he's really trying to get these tyres warmed up, and it's a purple Sector 1 on the timing screens. It is only green, of course, with a 16 dead on that one, but let's see then, really warming those tyres up. Is there a potential here that this could unlock some more pace?
Yeah, it's very possible indeed. Obviously, they don't have to worry about tyre wear as much. Normally, you do soft hard around here when it's a 1-stop, not the compulsory 2-stop. If you do try and stretch to soft medium in a normal situation, you might be at threat of a puncture. So I'm expecting to see soft medium, medium, or maybe 2 sets of softs if you are a bit careful on the tyres as well. We'll have a look at what Jonas has... Oh, he's invalidated his lap, but that's what I was saying. It's so simple to do around this circuit, so he'll be wanting to go again. Oh, Kiki, purple in Sector 1, a quarter of a second up on his best time. Kong Hoffner, he's coming through the final couple of corners now. He's green in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. Still needs to find a bit of time, though, in this final part of the lap to try and get himself ahead of Casper and those ahead of him, and he can't quite find it. Does stay in 5th place, but on an improved time as Rich. He goes fastest then in the Mercedes, a winner here last season, first round of the season in one hub in Season 17 this circuit. Rich struck the win ahead of White Fountain and Rainman, and if he starts from pole position today, he's got a very good chance of claiming a victory as well.
Kiki up into 4th position, the man who's had such a relatively torrid start of this season, and by his own admission, having scored really not as much as he really wants to, and really hasn't gone off the board at all. Currently in 4th position then, so improvements around Austria, a circuit which really is a circuit which just kind of shows the true pecking order sometimes. It's a short track, so it really needs to be on it. So far, 4th position for him. No one yet dipping into the 1-minute 2s so far, as Estimat is currently on a purple first sector on the timing screens, on my screen at least. It's now 15.8, so someone else may have just gone quickest there. But a few drivers start to pop their quick times in then. Able to go and qualify. Let's see then what we've got on board with Estimat's then. Down into the left hand. This is where the Rint curve coming up then. Well, the old Rint curve used to be there. This is where the old Lauder curve used to be as well. Of course, this circuit likes to rename its corners more than I like to do different corner names as well. Through the last corner, which is now the Rint curve, and then of course through the Red Bull curve as well, or the A1 curve, or what it used to be called back in the days. Who knows? Esty, does he improve? Does improve. Goes up to P3 then on the timing screen. Does Esty match? A good lap time then for the beautiful driver then in the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who won't be improving. Casper had a massive moment by the looks of things through turn 9. You might have just seen as Estimax was going through a pink car off to the side in the tyre barriers. Championship leader Casper out of the session. The best he'll be starting is 6th position. He might be hoping that a few cars get ahead of him and that he could start from 11th in that alternate strategy pole position. So it is all down to his teammate, IRL Neon, who's had a pretty decent season so far himself. Bit wide through turn 9 for Neon. This is his first lap on the soft tyres, so his earlier time not too representative. We'll see where he can go in the racing point. Goes up into 11th for now. Maybe the first crack in Casper's fantastic performance we've seen so far this season. Out of a possible 84 points, he has got 78. It's been a brilliant job from him. I mean, just to give you an idea, JM's on 59 points. That would be enough to lead in precision and in pinnacle, but it's not quite enough to do it at the moment. He's almost a race win behind. with his big rival out of qualifying, this might just be a chance for JM, Colin, perhaps Cloudy Balloons and a few others as well to just close that gap up as we of course are into the final half of the championship. The fifth race of the season tonight, 5 more to go after tonight.
Yeah, most certainly. So the one small crack so far, as you mentioned this season, Casper, been on it throughout, and we've had so many different pole positions so far this season. Reg, I believe, as far as I'm aware, going for his second pole this season. Let's see if he can do it so far. Well, he's currently got one finger on that potential thing. So far, he is the quickest. We've got Colin in the pit lane. We've got everyone else in the pit as well. Neon currently on another lap, I believe. So far, he's actually gone up to P8, actually. So he's just improved on his time, if I'm not too mistaken, as Ali B has just gone and deposed Red Sled. He's into the 1 minute 2s, so the first driver we've seen dip into the 2s so far then. The Hearts driver, and that, you must say, is putting the benchmark down. Now everyone's going to probably come out and try and beat it.
Yeah, definitely. It's been all or nothing for Ali so far this season. He's got 20 points. And that was from a victory a couple of weeks ago. He has really been... He's either been on it or off it absolutely completely. So we'll see what he can do for the Haas team. Waitsy, he's just gone up into 11th in the Alfa Romeo. Waitsy only on 1 point at the moment. He's got Bannister just ahead of him on 2 points. 17th and 18th they are in the championship. And that was the rivalry chosen this week. Waitsy was asked, is your teammate, as in Gogs, better than Bannister's teammate, who is Kong Hofner? We've got a reply from... just checking quickly if we did get a reply from Waitsy about that. He said, I think they're both good drivers, so I wouldn't say one of us is better than the other really. All I know is myself and Gogs haven't had the best start, and we need to turn it around. Starting in 11th place wouldn't be a bad start to Waitsy trying to turn it around and trying to improve on that 1 point he's had so far this season.
Yeah, most certainly. So that's going to be an interesting thing between the teammates. Meanwhile, talking about drivers improving their times and all of that, and teammates to other teammates, Racely just goes P4 then in the Alfa Romeo. I almost said the Alfa Tauri then. Different, close enough. A's, they both begin with Alpha, so I suppose you could almost say it just runs red and white and runs blue and white. So close enough, I suppose, aren't they?
Imagine what we're going to be like on F1 2021 with Aston Martin and Alpine. I've got no chance of getting these names right, although at least they've changed their colours slightly, so we won't get them mixed up like we did when Racing Point, came from Force India into Racing Point. Colin, he's on a hot lap at this moment in time. He's currently like the lead car of those main championship contenders, and he has gone purple, slightly up on his personal best. He needs to find a big improvement to get ahead of Ali B, but we'll see what Colin can do maybe on the rest of his lap as he's coming downhill now into turn number 6. The Welshman, nice and easy on that apex. You don't want to hit the curbs too hard on this game. That's something we see happen so often, and it does cause big problems for yourself. Now coming out of turn number 8, keeps it nice and steady under that Fanatec bridge, crossing across the awkward pit entry here, gets plenty of rotation on that car there, almost sliding it round the penultimate corner. We'll see if this is going to be a big improvement from Colin. Not massively improvement in terms of time, 32 thousandths of a second, but it's good enough to get him onto the front row for now with 3 minutes to go. I wonder if he's going to have a cool-down lap and then maybe go for one last final push.
That's always a possibility, but look how many cars are just ahead of him. We've got Rescue, we've got, I believe that's Cloudy Balloons actually then, in the other Red Bull. He's currently down in 16th position, by the way, which is, you'd have to say below what he wants to be so far, but he's going to have a bit between his teeth, so that's going to be the real driver we're going to be looking at in terms of the standings, of course. That wants to be jumping up the order, as well as Neon, who's currently in 10th. So a few people relatively out of position from where we would expect. None, of course, undermining, of course, that Casper, down in 8th position, is probably hoping that either he gets bumped out of the top 10 or that things just happen to stay as they are right now.
I think I'd rather start 11th than 8th place, if I'm being perfectly honest. Cloudy Balloon should improve. His only lap earlier was on the mediums. You take into account the track evolution, you take into account the difference in the tyres. You should be able to get improved round about where Lamby's time, where Speed Risky is perhaps even a bit further at least. So we'll see what Cloudy Balloons can do. He's only really given himself one massive opportunity at trying to get this done. A lot of cars now on their final laps, all just starting to come out the pit lane. Is anyone going to stop Ali taking pole position? Will it be Colin? He's coming to the pit, so it isn't going to be him. Could Rich find a bit more time to improve, or is someone going to come outside of the top 3? I can tell you one thing, on this lap, it's not looking like Rich. He's almost a 10th down coming through Sector 1.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a slow one for him then. Meanwhile, keeping a look at Cloudy Balloon, seeing what he does so far in the Red Bull. Currently coming through turn 7. He's currently 5 attempts up on his lap time. Currently in 16 positions with a double green split so far. This could be good enough for around about 5th position, I think, potentially. Let's see how far off today I am for the last corner. A little bit wide through there. He's invalidated, so I'm going to be about 12 positions off where I thought he would have been. But he's set a 1 minute 3.4. So that would have put him, well, that would put him P10 actually. So, not really what he wants to be doing. So that's pretty much his qualifying over, is it not, already?
Yeah, invalidating on the final corner. You do that. This is a circuit where it's tricky. We saw it, I think round 1 of the season was at the Canadian Grand Prix. We saw it there as well. You invalidate through the final corner, that's it. Your current lap is done. Your next lap is done. So Cloudy Balloons, the man currently 4th in the championship on 48 points, will only be starting in 17th place. Farf and Gogs haven't got a time on the board, so they're going to be down the order as well. Ali runs very wide coming outside of turn number 1, so I can't see an improvement from him. Rich, though, had enough time to go for another lap, and he is improving. JM, he's managed to improve as well. So we are seeing a few more drivers now starting to come into their own as the checkered flag is out.
Yeah, Rich up then by 19/100 of a second. It's not enough to get himself on pole position. He needs to get an incredible last corner. Is he coming in? He is going to come in. So he is bailed out of that one. Has Ali B just been thrown a lifeline? Can anyone else improve them? We got Wasteley coming through the last corner. And let's see what he can do in the Alfa Romeo then. Through the last corner. Can he get himself any way up onto the second row of the grid? The answer to that is no. Estimat, can he improve? No. JM is up, but how much is he's invalidated his time, so that's him done. Okiki is not going to improve his lap time. Neon will not improve. You've got Risky's not going to improve either. Cam does not improve. He'll stay in 40th position. So, Ali B then on pole position here in Styria, here on the Austria ring. So, Forsay, and that has to be a big boost then coming into a track which very much can always be, turn 1 can be very important, especially if you manage to break away from the pack.
Yeah, a few years ago, Fernando Alonso got torpedoed by Daniel Kvyat. Cam was one of the final drivers to come across the line there in 14th position. He was hoping for a wet race. He hasn't got it, and down in 14th place, he might have to do something slightly different on the strategies. He said he preferred to be higher than his 6th place in the championship, and his goal this week was to do well. With all due respect, that's not been the most ideal start to qualifying. It is someone with a Ferrari engine, though, on pole position. It is going to be Ali, and he will be delighted with that. And let's not forget, if you're one of the drivers who gets the most pole positions this year, you will get yourself some of them lovely sim gloves from 3M Sim Racing. So he's a step closer to that.
Almost certainly. So far, the Haaslen, a 1 minute 2.9, the only driver in the 1 minute 2s. Forsay ahead of Richland, 2 attempts behind. Incredibly close, by the way. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. All separated by, under 33 thousandths of a second between them. Also, must say, incredibly close between 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th as well. So many little storylines so far in this thing. How close the drivers are. 11th, 12th, 13th also within a couple of thousandths of each other. So, really everyone impressive so far in qualifying, as I couldn't scroll all the way to the bottom there because it went just as I was trying to scroll through, which is a bit of a shame. But nonetheless, we'll run you through the qualifying order in just a few moments then when we get into the session. Well, I can actually do that right now with the help of our lovely friends from Towson Valley B on pole from Rich, Colin, Wasteley in 4th. SD, JM, Okeke, Casper, Konkofner, Jonas, Neon, Risky, Lamprin ahead of Cam, Tech ahead of the Bannister, Claddy Balloons ahead of Farf down there in 18th position.
Yeah, and I think Gogs as well, he was another driver in and then didn't even bother coming out. That not sure if that was a qualifying ban from a couple of weeks ago, but I know there was no penalties at all with the stewards last time, not even a stewards inquiry, which is always lovely to see. We'll have to see whether today ends up the same way. Let's talk about the action zones. Drivers taking care into turn 1, as you mentioned, Liam. That was something mentioned by the stewards. Things can really go wrong around here. And then turn 3 and turn 4, probably at the end of the second 2 DRS straights, where we will see the most overtaking.
Most certainly indeed. So, of course, turn 1 and turn 3, that's really your main opportunity, of course, around this circuit, if you could get a run. And the big thing is around here is if you can get a run, as well as down to turn 4. So, it's really a question of where would you like to pass? Because 3 DRS zones around this circuit, all with a chance of overtaking. There is opportunities, of course, down into turn 5, especially if you get that run. We've seen, of course, especially around these types of tracks, it's so easy just to have a great battle if you can run side by side around here.
Yeah, definitely. You see battles going on pretty much like forever and ever, starting on the run or down through 2 and 3, ending sometimes not until the cars have got outside of turn 8 or even heading towards turn 9, where if you go side by side, all it takes is someone hitting that inside curve too much and you're going to have a massive accident. You can even do it on your own, as we saw what Casper did earlier. But the drivers are now heading out on their formation laps. We know the top 10 were on the soft tyres, and we've got a bit of a mix for those drivers outside the top 10.
Yep, so we've got Neon.
Ali's spun on the formation lap.
That, you don't see that very often. Can he get the car back going again? Now, in real life, he would be, in most terms, a bit buggered right there, because he'd be forced to start the back. Luckily, this game is a bit kind, because he'll be able to rejoin to the front, but that, you must say, a small mistake, and could that be a little bit of what Rich and Colin need then in second and third, just to go, I reckon I've got a chance here, but a small mistake, and, well, he's going to be down the back. He will get to put himself on pole, but, oh, we got another car off as well, Atokike off the road, so, a few drivers making a few mistakes then on the right lap, and you don't see that very often, do you?
No, you don't. I think it just shows that when we were talking about setup compromises earlier, a lot of the drivers have gone for lower downforce to be quicker on the straights, to get the overtakes done, or maybe defend. I mean, it's not a lack of experience around this track, I can tell you that. This is the 13th season out of 18 it has appeared in One Hub Racing. 31 racers in different tiers across total. As we said earlier, Rich did take the victory in Podium last year ahead of White Fountain, ahead of Rainman, Truth taking the victory in Prospect, Chris winning it in Precision, and Lakitu winning it on his way to the Pinnacle Tier title last year. So some big names in One Hub history have done very well around this track. Can Rich make it 2 wins out of 2? He's got a long wait now for everyone else to come through the back of the grid, including our pole sitter, of course. It's going to be an interesting race. He just needs to take that spin out of his mind and concentrate on the fact that he has got pole position, concentrate on getting a good start, and then just see if you can use your ERS to break that 1 second window before the end of lap 2.
Yeah, indeed. And right now we get a very interesting moment on the grid where everyone's on there, apart from the pole sitter, who you'll be seeing is impaling everyone, as well as Okiki down the back. But enough of that then, we've got a race to get on our hands. 36 laps ahead of the drivers then, around this beautiful circuit. The Red Bull Wing, of course, first hosting a race back in F1 in 2014. And let's see, this could be very spicy indeed when the 5th light is off. We're underway then here in Styria. And it is lights out and away we go then. Good start then from Ali B. It looks like a good start as well from one of the Alfa Romeos. That must be a Racely then, as 3 wide almost in the background, but away we all go. And it is Ali B leading themselves down the hill then. Rich in second. We got Racely in third, ahead of Estimat in fourth. And a whole bubble of cars, almost 3 abreast then. The Haas on the inside, the Williams, there's almost 4 abreast then into the corners. The McLaren up the inside. We've got a Red Bull in the background there as well, of Jonas getting involved. Bannister, it looks like, up to 11th already. so far, but we've got already some action, and up the inside, Richler having a look onto the lead of this race. So Rich having none of it. We've got Jonas down the back with an issue, as Rich trying to go around the outside so far, couldn't quite do it, but what a start so far here in Austria.
Yeah, what a start. The McLarens had an absolutely lightning start. Bannister went up 5 places. He went for a very aggressive move up the inside into turn 3. I think he did make contact with Jonas, and that might have caused the spin. There was all sorts of kerfuffles going on in the midfield. Kong's moved up 3 places as well. Farf and Gog's moving up from the back of the grid. Biggest losers were Jonas, down 9 places as Risky and Lambie into the pits then, and Tech facing the wrong way on the way into the pits, and that has caused a virtual safety car.
Yeah, virtual safety car. No damage though on that car. So, look like Harmer Spit. You know, this is really going to benefit the likes of Jonas as well here, because he's going to get a free stop on all of this, as well as Lamprin, who's getting a new nose. So those two had an issue, we believe, potentially down the back, as they're going to rejoin nose to tail. Both of the Red Bull cars down here at the Red Bull ring having a bit of moment. That's always interesting to see, but so far then it is Ali B leading this race, ignoring the fact the telemetry is currently saying it's speed risky. It'll sort itself in a second. Indeed, there it goes. So Ali B leads this race then from Rhett. Raisley up to 3rd, then Essimat's up to 4th. Colin, a bad start for him, down to Konkofner. Impressive start for him as well. Farf up 5 positions. The real loser in all this race is Jonas and Labyrinth after their issues. We are back racing, of course, here now in Styria. So, the battle resumes between the top 2-3 positions, and already we're starting to see, it looks like Rich really wants to try and get past Ali. We saw how eager he was at the start of this race, so he just needs to really just try and stick with him, get that DRS, and we know for a fact, if you are getting in the DRS or have slipstream, well, he's got the DRS right now. Is he going to go for it right now? Is he going to prove my point correct and go for it? He is going to go for it. Then down the inside. Can't quite do it. Big contact from the rear end there as the Alfa Romeo decides to try and sliver on up the inside as well. But doubled by the DRS led. A little bit too far back down into turn 4. It'll be a heck of a dive from here. And things better up at front right lockup. So must be careful on that one so far, as now Waisley has a little look around the outside then. And let's see, long way around. Can he do it? The long way. It'll be difficult. It'll be brave. Thinks better of it so far. The old switcheroo has an opportunity, but again, it's all about the long game right now. You know most certain you don't want to throw your chickens off the balcony right now.
No, you don't. Waitsy helping out Ali there, slightly going for that move. It dropped Rich about 8 tenths behind. Rich is looking in a really good position at the moment. If we use the TAS system, have a look at the tyre wear on the cars. Ali, 27% on his rear left tyre. Waitsy has 23% on his rear left. It's 18% for Rich on his rear left. His front tyre, his front left, 10% less than Ali's at the moment. Yes, he might overheat them a bit more being stuck in this traffic, but maybe you can save his ERS, maybe you can save a bit of fuel, go a few laps longer and bolt on a second set of softs, either at his first pit stop or at his second compulsory pit stop, as JM's gone quite a way off the track there. He's lost a couple of positions in all of that. Colin makes his way past Estimat, so he's up into 4th place. Not an ideal start to this race from JM, and he's actually battling with Casper. 1 and 2 in the championship. They're 7th and 8th on the track at the moment, and they're really fighting for this position.
Yeah, so basically there what we just saw, JM, he was battling Konkofner, late braking, he tried to outbrake Konkofner as Konkofner came at him. Braked a little bit too late, went sailing off into turn 3, you might say, and well, that is the reason why he is now dropped behind his long rival. He wants to try and beat in the championship then. So, as you mentioned, 1st and 2nd are currently 7th and 8th, though talking about 1st and 2nd, that is Ali B and Red so far. Having a bit of a smooth time there as OKK gets himself a 3-second time, but in the first man in the penalty zone so far. But so far he's in 9th position as Wasley has a little sliver up the inside. He got the car stopped. I think he just has low, and then he'll have the dog bite the cherry. They're both up DRS actually, suppose. So let's see who's going to have the quickest car down the straight. It's all about setups right now then. So it looks like Raisley should have the high ground then, should have the inside line. Almost crashes into the back of the leader there, but he gets the job done. As now, Rich just settles back and just has to know right now, conserve those tyres. You want to try and get these tyres to around about lap 8, 9, maybe a little bit more. We know these tyres go off, and a soft medium is normally an ideal strategy around here from my experience.
Yeah, Rich said all he wanted to do was be in the mix, and he's definitely doing that at the moment. Just had a decent lap 1 and be in the mix going into the rest of the race. He's well on for that and could still have a chance later on. Kong and Casper were getting close for 6th and 7th. A bit further back then, and Kong just managing to hold on to that position for now. We have got this massive long DRS train that we talked about. Top 9 cars, Okiki at the back. He's another driver who said he's not happy with his start for the season, but he just wants some points in this race. The penalties might cost him as Waitsy almost going for the race lead there, and I think Ali's had a bit of a moment on the exit of the corner. That could give Waitsy a chance, and Colin gets ahead of gets ahead of Rich, who I think's had a problem.
Yeah, someone's had a mistake. As you said, Rich, you got yellow flags. They look like for Jonas as well, going off at the exact same time as these guys all slip themselves down the inside. But Waisley wasting no time then as he blasts past Ali Beelan. Colin back up to 3rd. Esty now into 4th as Rich has a small mistake. Behind them, we've got all kinds of cars close together. We've got the top. Well, you pretty much say you've got the top 9 positions, all basically within about, what, how many seconds is it? Let's have a little look on the thing. Within 3 seconds, give or take. The top real, it's the top 13, 14 within 7 seconds, Luke. So, everyone so far, so close together. And right now, Ali B is going to be wanting to get underway and challenging again. But look behind. Colin, is he close enough to dive already? He's a little bit too far back so far. But he has a good exit through here. Then down the hill, we know how good the double toe is around here. But the question is he going to go and try and make a lunge? Let's see then. He has the inside line. Ali Bilo holds at the outside line, holds the braking zone as Casper gets past Rich. So Rich is, well, you could say most certainly dropping down the field very, very sharply.
Yeah, he is indeed. I think as soon as you've gone offline, got a bit of dirt on your tyres, things just sort of go from bad to worse, and he is dropping down the field. Gogs and Tech battling further down. All this battling that is going on, it's brought Cam and Neon and the rest of those cars behind from 11th to 14th onto this train. So we've now got a 14-car train, and Neon and 4th, they won't be feeling too bad at the moment on their set of the medium tyres. They'll be fairly happy with how this is going as Okiki comes into the pits. Fairly wise decision, a bit earlier than you'd perhaps like to do, but it gets you out of that train. It's about an 18-second pit loss around here as Ali gone round at turn 1 again. Broken front wing.
Yeah, second time he's done that. I just noticed it just as you said it. For the second time though, remember he did this on the formation lap, so potentially there must be either he's just getting a little bit too eager on the throttle or what's not, but another mistake then, the second so far, drops it round into turn 1. This time he's knocked the front wing off, well he's half of the front wing you might say, so that's going to be a stop. Now it's not the end of the world for him, remember, because everyone is doing a mandatory 2-stop. So he can come back into this, but that is really going to put a dent in his hopes so far then. As Farth, like you said, on those medium tyres, right on the back of everyone. And surely now we're going to start seeing these guys come in. Indeed, as we see the Colin come into the pit lane then as well, copying his teammate. This could be quite interesting actually, Luke, because where is going to be Okiki in all of this? Let's see how much time he actually gains because these guys battling.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It was quite a bit. It was at the back of this train, but it was only 3 seconds separating all of them, and Ali gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Things just going bad to worse for him at the moment. And Okiki, he's not going to jump his teammate, but I think he is actually going to be fairly close here with Rich on the exit of the corner. It's quite an awkward pit exit, and there we go. Okiki gets himself ahead of Rich, and I think now that Colin's coming to the pits, that is going to light the blue touch paper for everyone else to come into the pits as well. Casper and JM are still battling for 4th and 5th position here, and JM's going to try and think about this all the way around the outside like he did a couple of laps ago. Casper's going to give him just about enough room, but in the end JM has to back off from that one. I think we're going to see a lot of other people coming into the pits this time around. Wait, see, you don't have to go straight away to come into the pits. You can decide quite late on to go for it. And there we go, wait, see, into the pits. Estimat takes the lead of this race. Yeah, Konkofner also in the pits led, so 2 or 3 of them also looks like they're jumping and got the other McLaren in the pits as well. So 4 drivers stopping, then we've got the
Alfa Romeo, we've got the McLaren, we've got the other McLaren as well. We've also got the Haas in as well, and a good stop there. A little bit of a hold up right then for Bannister. That's going to drop him down a few positions, and let's see where he comes up. But Colin, where's he going to come out in all this? He's going to jump just ahead of Wasteley. What about Okiki and all this? He is going to be side by side of JM. Look at this, these two very close together on the exit of the pit lane. No DRS, of course, for either of them, so it's all going to be the battle of who's it going to be into the braking zone. You can say most certainly it's going to be Okiki on the exit. A bit wheelward. Oh, he dropped it. He's just about caught that. How has he done that? On the exit of the corner. Full opposite lock there on the exit. As now on the outside comes the Mercedes. There's more contact there as these two run wheels. And Okiki, who has had a torrid start this season, does not need to get involved in another issue here. And again, side by side, he just about keeps it together then. Just about holds the outside then ahead of Reg, who can rather not do a lot. But what great battling here already as we've got another few drivers in the pits.
Yeah, Estimat's coming into the pits. He's putting a set of the medium tyres on. Got Casper, Cloudy Balloons and Cam came on. They've just gone on a tiny bit longer. But what a battle, like you said, between Rich and Okiki there. That all started with a tiny bit of contact just between JM and Okiki. Fantastic hold from the Williams driver to keep it pointing in the right direction. He's had no points so far this season. He really wants to keep hold on this 12th place, at least, maybe slightly better, as things go on. Tech and Colin are battling a bit further up the field. The other Williams is behind Tech at the moment, and Tech's on the older tyres, but this is for position. He's entitled to try and fight for this position, although this will be frustrating Colin ever so slightly. He gained in that undercut slightly. He's probably losing a few tenths at least now.
Yeah, this is where you really don't want to be getting caught behind cars. This is kind of what we always say, and this is probably why the leaders are staying out a little bit longer, just to make sure they can try and clear that traffic as much as they can. As Tech gets a 3-second penalty for some reason there. He didn't run too wide on it looked like, but nonetheless he gets overtaken then by Colin. And this is going to be the bit between the teeth, is where is the likes of Casper, where is Cam and Farth all going to come out of this? Well, I can tell you one thing, they're definitely going to come behind these guys, but they might be awfully close to Okiki, I think, coming down and out the pit lane. Let's see then. We've got Okiki currently coming through the last corner. He's going to be, yeah, so he's going to be ahead of Cam then. So we've got Casper, who's just ahead of Jim, and these two are just indecipherable between them. And look at all these drivers up the road, Luke. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them battling away, and this is all where he gets between. This is where the money mouth is. Oh, it's almost contact there as Wasteley has looked on the inside.
Oh, there is contact.
And there is definitely contact, and there's a front wing, and that was what we feared might happen, and Tech is getting his nose in the places where he doesn't really want to be right now. He's going to drop all the positions in the gravel. He's going backwards, and well, I feared something like this. It was always a possibility here, and he's going to have to really be careful now. And he's probably going to let these guys through coming to the pit lane. Indeed he is. So very sportsman then, knowing that he's going to have to try and trundle around at slower speeds. But just when you think there's going to be contact, bang, it happens.
Yeah, it did. I think Tech there, he was sort of focused on the car ahead of him. Oh, Kiki is round at the final corner. He's picked up another penalty as well. I don't think he's got any major damage to his car, at least. No, he hasn't. He's actually fine at the moment, so no damage, no too much damage to his car, but yeah, we go, does end up spinning around. We've got Cloudy Balloons and Neon battling, Waitsy and Kong battling on the run out of turn 3, and Kong gets that position, just uses a bit more of his ERS. Estimax isn't too far behind either, so Waitsy now down into 5th and net 3rd position at the moment. Colin coming out, luckily for him, unscathed with that contact with Tech. He is in the net lead of this race, but has just got that 1 lap older tyres than the cars behind him.
Yeah, now it's really about trying to open that gap. Meanwhile, we've got a battle between 13th and 12th position, as my pardon that, as Lamprin tries and I think just got taken by Speed Risky, as those guys switch around. Bannister, meanwhile, climbing all over the back of them there, and he's hoping to climb up past them as we go on there, as everyone just runs right through the last corner. Now this circuit, by the way, and we are starting a seat list. Very easy to pick up penalties, Luke, isn't that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're seeing that at the moment. How many drivers have we got in this race? 19 drivers at the moment. I think 9 of them have got penalties, as Cam and Rich are battling for 9th and 10th place. I don't think that's what Rich would have expected after the start he had to this race, to be battling quite along behind those drivers, but these have both kept it clean. This could help them gain positions, especially if there is a late safety car in this race. All of those with penalties will be in big trouble if that happens, as Farf sends one down the inside of his teammate. He's up into 10th place. He's showing some good pace at the moment, and he's gone for a set of the soft tyres. No points so far this season. Could well be his lucky evening.
Yeah, most certainly. So, meanwhile, the battle continues then, as in comes Neon finally. So he's going to go down onto that pit road then and try and get a new set of tyres. And you can just see them riding aboard with me on SD Mats there, the dirty air pushing these cars around the circuit. It's so difficult to really just try and find the pace right now. Neon on a set of soft tyres, he is going to be rapid. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get himself involved in any issues. So he's going to go another set of softs then, and then presumably another set of softs right at the end potentially. Cloudy Balloon's also going to be stopping in a few laps, 15 laps on those tyres so far. Colin, Konkofna, Wasley, Casper up to 5th then so far, which is technically a net 4th, so a definite recovery drive you could say then for him. SD Matt so far, we've got Neon just passing Rich, who's got, you must just say, no pace right now. He's on those medium tyres, mind, so he's going for a longer stint, but definitely, as you said, Luke, not where he wanted to be from earlier on.
No, in Neon there, he's just going to have the grip out the corner, so maybe not even using the DRS, just using the pure pace of his tyres. Farf and Cab K Mom as well. Farf the Mercedes using the pace on the softs down the inside into turn 9. And that just shows how good the softs are at this moment in time. That is not a conventional passing place. Cloudy Balloons, he's coming to the pits. He'll come behind this battle into 11th place, but he's gone for a set of soft tyres. That means he's going to have to go for mediums on this final stint of his race. I'm not sure going as long on that set of softs was the wisest idea. We'll have to see for him, but that puts Colin then back into the lead of this race, as SD Mats and Casper going side by side there, and SD Mats get the position. Casper gets a bit of wheel spin, and that might put him under pressure from JM.
Yeah, here we go then. It's JM going to have one up the inside. It'll be very fortuitous to go up the inside from that far back. Thinks better of it yet again, these drivers knowing exactly when to put the money and when to put it where. So this is really going to be the game of interdimensional chess right now between these 6 drivers. Hubling's first, he got a car off his lat. Speed Risky pointing backwards. He has lost the front right end plate. That is then. So he's tapped the wall, or he was at contact. He was very close to a few drivers a few minutes ago, but that on the medium tyres is rather going to be a wretched situation. So surely he's going to either have to put another set of mediums on or go for a set of hards.
Yeah, he is. Looking at this way, he'll be able to get the set of mediums towards the end of the race, so not too much of a problem, but it's not been an ideal race for him whatsoever. I think he'll be hoping for a safety car at some point. Konghofner just staying on the back of Colin at the moment. They're both doing a pretty good job on their ERS, so he's Waitsy, to be honest. He's up at 90% at the moment. SD and Casper and JM all running a bit lower at the moment. Casper, he did go for the pre-race interviews as well. He said his goal for this week was staying in front of Johannes, which is JM, or staying close to him. He's in front of him and very close to him at this moment in time. And I think for JM, he'll be hoping that he can get ahead of Casper and just seeing what he can do in the rest of this race. As there we go, that could be a big help for the Haas driver. Casper just runs wide coming out of turn 8, gets his first 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, first penalty for him, then that puts it up to about 10 drivers, give or take now, with penalties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One off, close enough. I'm always one off sometimes, of course, but you never say never. One more driver gets a penalty, and that will make the prophecy correct for the time being. But let's not dwell on penalties, as in comes Bannister and Lamprin for their stops combined. Meanwhile, Konkofner continues to pile on the press, and then on the back of Colin, who's leading this race so far on merit. He's got another stop, as everyone's pretty much got another stop. I think 1, 2 drivers, Bannister and Lamprin, both on their second stop. So it's risky. We got oh, is that a KK off? Please say no. It is. Oh no. And as he got damaged though, he's dropped it. Turn 1, Luke. Oh boy.
Oh.
And
that's what happens you spin your car, you heat the tyres up, and then you, in frustration, you just drop the throttle down. Unfortunately for him, he can't take that shortcut. It's not Gran Turismo, that track doesn't exist on this game, unfortunately for him. But yeah, you overheat the rear tyres, in frustration, you light them up, and you end up spinning into the wall. Broken front wing. He's going to have to come in for another set of mediums, and he might well be a lap down by the time he comes back out on circuit. It has been a bit of a disaster for Okiki. Complete opposite for his teammate, though. And net 1.7 seconds up at this moment in time, of course, because of Kong Hoffner's penalty. So he'll just be concentrating on keeping it fairly clean, seeing what he can do on this set of the medium tyres. He's done 9 laps on them so far, 34%. The interesting point for these that pitted a bit earlier is whether they'll go for another set of mediums or go for a set of softs at the end.
Well, this is the interesting thing here, is meanwhile, we've got a battle between fourth, that is Ali B out the race. Oh! Boy, that was almost contact. 3 wide then into the braking zone. That can't work, surely. It just about does. As Cloudy Balloons, far for Neon, all get themselves far too close for comfort right there. And you could almost just sense that was almost going to be a monumental crash. Luckily for them, Farf just turned out the ever so slightest, so they all survived that one. Cloudy Balloons, Neon, landed the battle for the 7th position, and we can only say so far in this race, Luke, because no one is backing down. We've got 16 laps to go. It's flying past around here in Austria. It's only really going to take 40 minutes, give or take, to do a race around here. How quickly take it. But what we can say so far is Cloudy Balloons is getting past Farf.
Yeah, Farf just runs out of his DRS, didn't have a DRS. Absolutely no hope. Good night, Vienna, for his chances of staying ahead of Cloudy Balloons there. We're seeing more sends than a post office here at the moment. And there's another one. Kong Hoffner round the outside at turn number 4. Colin just about gives him enough space and just has enough traction to get that position back ahead. But we have seen Kong, that's the closest he's been to Colin. And Waitsy and Estimat and the rest seem to be dragging their way along as well. So maybe Colin just started to struggle a slight bit. He got that position with the undercut, and you do normally pay for it a tiny bit later. Not having DRS as well might mean he's having to push a bit harder in the corners to try and pull away. But Colin, he's hung on to that position. He's in first. Kong in second place. Cloudy Balloons, I should say, sorry. He's the lead car on the soft tyres at the moment, but he does have to go mediums at the end of this race, as does Farf, whereas I imagine Farf will go for the medium tyres. He might be able to go for the softs again, depending on how long he can do. Whereas I imagine Neon can stretch out those softs long enough to go onto another set of softs.
Look at
Kong. Now Casper's
now
got ahead of Estimats, and Kong straight round the outside of Colin.
Yeah, it's an easy move then in the end then, and you can just see the rear end snapping around then. A double bite of the cherry, remember, that he is far too far back. This will be an audacious dive, and well, he most certainly knows that one, because contact would have been made, and the last thing you want to do right now is chop your front wing off or go off the road. JM, meanwhile, has now got Cloudy Balloons bearing down on him, and while I said Cloudy Balloons are hoping for some shun time, well, now he's on those red wall tyres. They are going to be starting to go off. Mind as that, well, JM gets himself a 3-second time penalty. That corner, surprisingly, providing a lot of track limit warnings, but Cloudy right now just needs to try and keep up Leeds and just try and push. Now, if he could stretch Leeds' tyres, say until around about lap 26, if he has the ability, I'm not quite sure if he was on the mediums earlier on. I don't believe I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, he was on the softs.
Yeah, so he has to set mediums then, so he's going to have to, it's going to be an interesting strategy for him then, so it'll be lap 27, I imagine. He's going to come in and maybe a little bit earlier, just to make sure he's got the tyre life on there, as we've got to kiki off and out of this race, it looks like then. And unfortunately for the man who was looking like he could get some points in a fantastic qualifying, but out again here in round 5, and the safety car is deployed, and that, you might just say, is going to fly into everyone's hands on the soft tyres. Farf and Neon have basically just been blessed right now.
I'd say he's going to fly into everyone's hands. I think we could have the entire field coming into the pits here, and whether you need to go on softs or mediums is going to determine all that. Jonas, he just pitted and he comes out behind the safety car, but that will let him by. And I think, here we go, Kong's into the pits, Colin Waitsy. I think the entire field are going to come in. It's whether they can stretch their softs long enough, which I think you should be able to do, especially 14 laps, 2 of them at least, under the safety car, maybe 3. I don't think it'll be much of a problem if that is what you choose to go for. Kong's going for a set of these soft tyres. It looks like Colin, he's going for a set of softs as well. Waitsy, softs. In fact, Waits has gone for a set of the medium tyres, so he might be in a bit of trouble here at the start of this restart. Same with Claudia Balloons, but things might just come back to them at the end of the race. And I think, here we go, the entire field is coming in. We have got ourselves a sprint here. And what did we say about having penalties being costly? Kong, Casper, JM, they could drop quite a few places later on in this race.
Well, this is really now the bit where if you are on these medium tyres, which a few people have, and I said Claudia Balloons might have some silver lining, well, that silver lining is going to really depend right now on if this safety car comes in very quickly, because remember, as you press the help button, Luke, is the bot? There's the bot. The bot's going to like you today, Luke, so don't worry, you're good. But this is going to be really interesting right now. How long are those tyres going to last? Especially these soft tyres, they can last about 10-11 laps. Remember, some drivers stretched, 15 laps earlier, Luke, so it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
I don't think they're going to have a problem getting the tyres to stretch, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think the final few laps, the mediums will be quicker. We're not talking about any risks of punctures here or a full-on Pirelli drop off the cliff. I think they should be fine. The safety car will be staying out for at least one more lap. And I'll tell you, the driver who might be the biggest winner in this safety car period, Speed Risky, was nearly a lap down when the safety car came out. He now gets the chance to catch that lap right back up again. With him being a long way behind, though, that might just stretch the safety car even longer and play more into the hands of those on the soft tyres. So, if I'd have had the choice, I'd have definitely gone for that fresher set of soft tyres. Obviously, Claudia Balloons didn't have the choice. I'm not sure whether Waitsy had used all his in qualifying. I don't think we'd have been too far off Cloudy coming into the pits anyway, just to try and get a very aggressive undercut to try and push his way up the field. Now that option's been taken away from him, but he has kept it clean. Out of the title contenders, you've got to say Collins in the best position. Casper and JM, few places behind him, with 3-second penalties. Cloudy Balloons on a slower set of tyres, down in 6th place. Things looking good for the Welshman to maybe get his first victory of the season.
Well, let's see then. Can Colin finally do it then on a racetrack which is often provided some excellent movement, as Konkofner almost just ran to the side of him, I suppose, there. Everyone's getting a little bit anticipating on this restart, which should be, if it depends on how quick Speed Risky, it might just be this lap, it might just be next lap. Let's see. We'll get the notification around about now. And let's see then, what are we going to do? One more lap under the safety car? Looks like one more lap under the safety car, Luke, then. So it's all going to be then, so what, a 12-lap sprint race. This is going to be like a Formula 2 race right now, isn't it?
Well, it's almost going to be like a Formula 2 race, or maybe like a sprint qualifying race. We've got a bit of a early taster of what they could look like later on in the season when we get the 100-kilometre races. I think that'd be more like 24 laps around this track. So a really sprint race, a very short sprint race around here. Colin will be hoping no one goes into him under the safety car, because that will probably give you a 5-second penalty. Lambie, he comes into the pits. This has got to be to put a set of these soft tyres on, and same with Jonas as well. I wonder if Jonas had gone soft at the start of this race. He's done one lap on the mediums, and I'm wondering whether he's coming in to put on another set of these soft tyres. I'll just check. You know, in fact, he didn't need to run that second one on the medium, so surprised he didn't just put on the softs straight away. But they've lost quite a lot in track position now, in 16th and the 17th. We'll see what they can do, though, on those fresher tyres. We've already seen some near collisions and some collisions in this race. It wouldn't surprise me if on this first lap after the safety car, there's a few more bits of carbon fibre flying their way around the Red Bull thing.
Most certainly indeed. So, safety car should be in this lap. Hopefully, let's see if it's in this lap. And hopefully, of course, we get some nice clean racing on it. And well, there we go. Confirmation, safety car in this lap. So, Colin leads this race. Konkofner with a 3-second time penalty in second. It's a good time to get the penalties up. So, 3 for Kong, Casper, JM, 6 for Far, 3 for Neon, 3 for Bannister, Gogs with 12, as well as Risky, Tech on 3 and Lamprin on 6. So those 3-second time penalties could be the decider later on in this race. Everyone has done their second stop, a few on their third, but back rating we go then here in Austria, and immediately looks like Colin has rather just bolted then straight away. The top two really have just left everyone sleeping right down there in the back as they come through turn number 1 then. What is everyone going to do then? They've all got cold tyres, they've all going to be fighting. It's going to be the bit between their teeth then. What can the likes of Casper do? He needs to get up this order as quick as he can. He doesn't need to be holding back. It's over the inside line he goes. Doesn't want to be holding back. Does not want to be stopped behind. Waitley, as through he goes then up to 3rd.
What a move that was by Casper, pulling the dummy off on Waitsy there, just taking advantage of the Waitsy not having the grip on those medium tyres. You see Bannister on his older mediums dropping down the order. I think what always happened on that restart is Colin didn't get a bad getaway, but had to back off slightly because he was catching the safety car, and that gave Kong the chance to just close up to him, although already Colin seems to be getting away. They've all got plenty of spare fuel. All the VRS did refill, and I think will be rapidly emptying now around this circuit. But a dream restart from Colin. Kong's sort of on his own in second place, and Casper and JM already ahead of Waitsy has got another safety car. And that is for, I'm not quite sure who's that for, to be honest.
I think that might be a glitch there, Luke. I've seen this one before, haven't we? And if this is what I fear it could be, now I'm not gonna say it is, but it may be. But let's see, of course. Now, in theory, if this is true, we're gonna get another safety car in lap. We're gonna get one in lap 30 then. So this could make this race a bit more of a sprint race than we thought then. It might be a 3-lap sprint, if this is how I fear might happen. Let's hope, of course, well, I mean, no one's gone off the road, Luke, so, I mean, surely, I mean, the only reason can be that's bugged out.
Yeah, I'm just going to check tasks quickly to see if there was any damage that popped up, and no, the last damage we've got is Okike breaking his front wing, so I'm not sure whatsoever. What the good news for Waitsy and some of the others is they've been able to put on a fresh set of the soft tyres. Cloudy Balloons deciding to stay out, deciding that track position is king. But yes, very strange indeed. I think all we can hope for is, if it is a bit of a game glitch, that by the time the safety car comes in, the game then decides it's too late to say the safety car out again. Otherwise we're going to have 3 manic laps at the end of this race. And we saw how good Kong's restart was, and Colin's last time around. We saw Casper making moves, and JM as well. Just saying someone had a spin in prospect, and that caused the safety car, even though they didn't have any damage. So whether that was the case, I'm not quite sure, because I did think for a split second I saw the yellow flag flash up before the safety car. Maybe my eyes were deceiving me, but it just adds a bit more tension. Tyres cooling down again, and now it'll be slightly harder to heat them up, of course. They've had a heat cycle put through them. They've been a bit warm. Scrub tyres can sometimes be easier, but if they're a bit more warm, you don't have the same tread block movement. You don't get the same heat into their tyres, especially under these slow speeds. So don't be surprised if after the safety car comes in, we see a few more sliding around this circuit.
Well, there we go then. So safety car, let's see, it's going to come in straight away. It'll be another lap, I think. Let's see, is it going to be a nice short boy or is it going to be a long boy? It's going to be a... Well, it's not coming in this lap, so it's going to be a... Oh, never mind. Never mind, it's coming in this lap, Luke. So, well, there we go. So, straight in early. So, what was that? A 1-lap safety car, was that not then? That's a 1-lap, 2-lap safety car. Everyone's back to the field then. Let's hope this time we get a race underway then. So, Konkofner got it all to work for again. Colin has it all to go as well. And let's see, let's make sure he does this perfectly again. Konkofner wants to try and stay with him as close as he can again. So let's see, lessons learned from last time. Casper's also going to sit there. We got ST Mats has just been overtaken by Cloudy Balloons, or something's just going on down there. What's happened down there then? Has ST Mats got a problem or something because he just got overtaken? But back racing again then we are then as Colin gets himself back underway and lead this race. Konkofner in second, Casper in third. ST Mats looks like he's dropping down the field. Something must be wrong there because he's just dropped another position potentially to fourth. So few issues going on right there as everyone heads them down into the corner. But Colin leads this race again, Luke, from Konkofner. A few people down the field. We've got Jonas making up a few moves as well. Casper in third. JM now in fourth, so really your championship order is getting closer and closer to the front of this field.
Yeah, they are. If Cloudy Balloons can just stick with these drivers, he might have half a chance of getting a podium in this race, despite being on the medium tyres. I think what happened with SD Mats is he actually overtook Cloudy Balloons under the safety car too early, had to let him by, and that loss of momentum as Colin put the hammer down and floored it away to get this race back underway. I think that allowed Farf to get himself back ahead. I was about to say it was a bit of a...
Safety car.
Yeah, there's definitely something weird happening here. Another safety car. I'm going to say with confidence that this will be the final one.
Well, yeah, it depends on that. Well, yeah, remember, because it has to 3 hours for the end of this race, so that, unfortunately, is nothing we can do about that, unfortunately, but that does mean we have a few moments just to have a little bit of a breather, eh, Luke? Just take in the scenery. And I've got to say, by the way, this track looks beautiful here in the Styrian Mountains, minus the fact there's a few little terrain glitches in the distance, but we'll gloss over that because it's a beautiful circuit, and in real life, of course, it is probably one of the most picturesque circuits on the calendar, apart from, of course, Mugello.
Yeah, I think a lot of these European circuits are known for being picturesque. You mentioned Mugello, other ones that you can mention, Monza, in the Monza Park, Imola as well, some other Italian circuits. You've got Hockenheim, Nürburgring, being in the mountains, always beautiful tracks. Oh, and I think they provide good racing because they've got these natural elevation changes that always make things a bit more exciting. And then you've got some other circuits like, for example, Paul Ricard, that's pretty much built on a flat bit of land and doesn't seem to give the same bits of excitement. So we'll have to wait and see. Next time around, we'll go for the calendar for the rest of the season, actually. While all of this is happening, next time around, it is going to be the Barcelona Grand Prix. They're going to be at Catalonia for the Spanish round of the championship. Not always the most exciting thing in real life, but can provide some good racing here in one hub with that DRS. Monza is round number 7, then Sochi, France and Brazil for the finale of the season. And with how close all the races have been so far, it could well be a championship deciding finale. And this could well be a championship defining race as well at the moment. All these safety cars mean less chance for Casper, JM to get away from those around them that have got penalties at the moment. As things stand, they'd probably lose out to maybe Estimat, maybe Cam K-Mom, Cloudy Balloons as well. Who says we're not going to see any more collisions in the final 6 laps? They've got to go for it. If the safety car comes in on this lap, there's going to be 5 laps to go. If the safety car doesn't come out of them, there's going to be 3 laps with the DRS. It's going to be one mighty fight towards the end. Might just have another lap though, because we are waiting for Goggs, Tech and Bannister to catch up to the back of the pack.
Yeah, so we're going to wait then just a couple more moments and hopefully, let's see then. So the theory is, let's see, so be lap 32, so 33, 34, 35, 36 would be, oh no, safety car in this lap. So, well, they've left that late, haven't they? The boys have left that, but Mylander's gone, you know what, let's go have some fun. So I got a hinching here, Luke. We're going to have another safety car, and, well, that might just be a hinching, but let's see then. So it's really going to be then, can anyone get a sudden jump as we are back racing here again for the 4th or 5th time then in this race. And Colin again leads this field up the hill towards turn number 2 and 3, and again he's got that jump well away. And what he needs to make sure right now is Konkofner does not get a sniff up the inside or anywhere near, because we don't want anything. Meanwhile, I think it's Farf gone up the inside. Is he battling with a car there? Might have been. Is that Claddy Balloons again getting past? There's a few drivers battling. It looked like it might be Claddy Balloons actually from the up angle in the sky I was looking at. So a few people making moves then. So far as that is Estimat, and well, he's dropped it on the exit of turn 4 or 5 then, as he got the car going, and that's an awkward place to be. And can he get it in reverse? Well, he's trying to find it, and back he goes. And let's see, are we going to be triggered by another safety car? That's the real thing. I hope not. But let's find out then. Put your bets down and below. Konkofner's hoping not, but it is another safety car.
Oh, this is... I mean, there's nothing we can do about it, but I imagine this is so frustrating for the drivers at this moment in time. Another safety car. Estimat's obviously having that spin. He's delighted by that. He's got no penalties. He can, if he's got another fresh set of soft tyres, put them on, catch right up to the back of the pack, and then be lightning fast for the final, what, 2-3 laps of this race that we are going to have here at the moment, but Colin's looking good to take the victory. The 4 drivers behind him have penalties. He's just got to try and keep things calm at the moment and not worry too much if Con, Casper, or anyone else go for an absolute dive bomb on him.
Yeah, unfortunately, I apologise to everyone, by the way, who are hoping for some dramatic action. Well, I suppose this is dramatic, Luke. I suppose we can make a story up saying that, I don't know, the track's breaking up or something. So we say that, we had some track degradation or something. I don't know. But safety car deployed for the many times. 5 times is it now, Luke? I don't know. This might be a record for safety cars in one hub, in one race. Luckily, we didn't get this really early on, because before, and this happened to me, and it's a glitch that, to be fair, didn't exist for quite a long time, and then has just reappeared in the last couple of patches, which is a shame. And hopefully next year's game eradicates it, but it always appears eventually. But there's some debris down in turn 1, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I saw Speed Risky get a penalty, so I'm not sure whether that's a part of the debris. I think that was a bit earlier on, but yeah, this is frustrating for the drivers. They're getting back into their rhythm, and as we said, every single restart, the tyres get harder and harder to warm up. We are probably, I hope the safety car comes in this lap. I imagine it will do, as we're basically stationary at the back of the field there. I think Bannister and Lambie nearly came together. They're really finding it difficult at the moment now that they have caught up to the safety car. I've never seen a safety car stay out for the penultimate lap of the race and come in with only 1 lap to go on this game. So I do believe it will be coming in. Whether this slight glitch that we've got at the moment is going to change things and is going to leave us with a 1 lap sprint. No, here we go. 2 laps remaining. No DRS. They're just going to be able to use all their fuel, use all their ERS, and we're going to have a fantastic couple of laps racing. Estimat picks up his first time penalty, trying to catch up to the back of this pack. I said the safety car was going to be music to his ears. It's been a bit of a nightmare here in the home of the Sound of Music, but what can Colin do? Just keep it calm. He gets his first victory of the season. Will Cloudy be able to stay ahead of Cam, who after a disastrous qualifying might just get a podium here?
Well, let's see then, but let's get ready to rumble then. The Sound of Music is away, and back we go then racing. No more safety cars in this race because, well, the game won't allow one. So it's all going to be now who has got the momentum, who has got the bit between their teeth, who wants to fight then in this race. Colin just needs not to get a penalty. If he gets a penalty, it's fair game for absolutely anyone. Jonas, meanwhile, gets a penalty down the back of the field. He's currently 10th. Speed Risky and Ritz battling his way as well. But let's see, is anyone going to have a lunge then already at the start of this race? Are they all just going to keep each other nice and smooth so far? Cam then, all the way in 7th as Estimat is retired. I wouldn't blame him at this point. There is really not a lot to fight for here on the inside then. Comes Fuff on the inside of JM. And this is really now what you don't want to be. It's getting overtaken. JM now down into 5th position. And he is fighting for a championship then. Yellow flag sector 3. This should not cause a safety car. Well, I'd be gobsmacked if it did on the last lap of this race. So Colin has 1 lap not to make a mistake then. Koffner and Casper are going to go at it then. But look here, Casper has, well, he's got no ERS on this lap, but he will have ERS for the next lap, of course. So, is anyone going to try and make a move then? Colin, the fastest lap on this race. He's going to get the fastest lap award so far. Can he get his first victory here today? Or are we going to get a late spring drama then? Let's see, is Casper going to have a lunge from this far back? I think it might just be a moment of everyone going to be trying to stay put where they are. Cam in 7th. I wonder here, is Claddy Balloons gonna get a podium here? Let's have a look. He's 2.8 off the leader, so he's 2 seconds off of that. I think Cloudy Balloons might get a podium here. Let's find out. Colin, well, you could say, oh, we got a car tech off the road down the back. He's been reset 5 seconds. So something dramatic has happened down the back there. We didn't catch it. Another car off of Gogs as well. Colin then, through the last corner. This probably isn't the way he wanted to win his first race of the season. It is the worst race of the season he's going to win then. And Colin wins here in Austria. Koffler in 2nd, Casper in 3rd. I think Cloudy's 2nd. He is 2nd then. Konkovna. Is anyone else going to jump up? Cam jumps up to 5th. JM down in 6th. Wesley 7th. Neon 8th. Jonas 9th. Ridge 4th. Bannister. Lamprin. Tech. Speed Risky out of this race. Gogs is going to finish down in 12th position. But what you can say, well, 15th position, my apology. But, and the big talking point is that race, you must say, rather has been, you could almost say, a little bit anticlimactic there due to that safety car.
Yeah, I think things were really heating up. The first safety car, we can see where that happened with Okiki's crash, and I think we've been robbed of a really fantastic end to that race there. Colin, though, taking the victory, his first of the season, another podium for Cloudy Balloons, and another podium for, the first podium of the season, I believe, for Konghofner. Championship leader Casper does extend his lead slightly, though, finishing in 4th.
Indeed, let's see our official rundown then. Colin from Cloudy Balloons, Kofner, Casper, Cam, JM, Wesley, Neon, Jonas, Rit, Farf, Bannister, Lamprin, Tech, Gogs, Speed Risky, Estimat, Aokiki, and Ali B down the back. Luke, in terms of your drive of the day, who are you going to give it to?
I think I'm going to have to agree with the game, if I'm being perfectly honest. He had a fantastic start to this race, Cloudy Balloons, 17th to 2nd in the end. Just how tough did you think it was going to be on that set of the medium tyres, and do you think the multiple safety cars helped you out in this race?
Indeed, and as per usual, I'm going to throw a wild card to my drive of the day to someone completely different, who I think has done a good job. Well, I can see one thing, the man from 14th position up to 5th, the man who I, for some reason, always seem to give drive of the day to. But I'm going to give him this time because he, I definitely say, has done a great job. It's Cam, of course. He might have a silent race, and my question to you is, of course, that safety car very much might have saved your bacon in this race because of the penalty system. But from your point of view, how was the race? Of course, you did come from 14th. You managed to finish 5th. And are you happy of how the results are? And how do you feel like moving forward into the next couple of rounds of this season?
Yeah, I think, to be perfectly honest, Cam would have been my other choice. Obviously, Colin did a fantastic job today, keeping it clean when so many others didn't. And we said it'd be tough around here. We said it would be crucial. And we saw, for example, Farf. He did get his first points of the season, but he crossed the line in 5th place. He dropped, I think, 4 or 5 places by the end. So he'll be slightly annoyed with how that's gone. Definitely keeps things interesting with the championship, though. Colin now jumps up into 2nd. Casper is still 21 points ahead. And it's looking close for that 2nd place at the moment. Colin, JM and Cloudy Balloons, just 4 points separating them. And Casper, not his best performance. First time he's been off the podium, but still manages to come home with a 4th position and a 3rd place out on track. So I don't think he'll be too worried going into the final 5 races.
Yeah, by the way, so something interesting, by the way. And this is actually, Casper has not finished off the podium in this entire season so far. His worst result so far with a 4th. His previous worst result was 2nd. So you could definitely say he's had a, well, you could always say it's a downturn in pace, but to finish 4th is not the worst. Of course, his first victory so far from Colin then. It's 4th podium for Colin as well. Cloudy Balloons' 2nd podium. Cloudy Balloons' best result as well. Konkovna's best result is as well as Wesley and Farf. Like I said, Casper, JM, we've got Gogs, Esti, Okiki and Ali B all with their worst races so far this season. And by the way, whilst we are going to go through this, we'll just go through our sponsors and of course say thank you to Next Level Racing, Liam RBS, 3M Sim Racing, and to our partners Vespertine and ERT. And don't forget our collaboration as well as to get Time to Print with 20% off their store on the SD store with, of course, One Hub Racing, all in capitals. But Luke, I'll let you round off the final words.
Yeah, an absolutely fantastic race. I feel a bit robbed by the final 3rd of the race. It would have been interesting to see the different strategies play out. Whether that helped drivers towards the front of the field or whether it hindered them, I'm not quite so sure. Colin, though, he won't mind. He kept it clean. He takes his first victory of the season, and we'll have to see what they can do next week at Barcelona.
Indeed. Well, as we head to the circuit de Barcelona de Catalunya then in just 7 days' time. I have been Evil Dragon XL. Luke, thank you very much for jumping in for the 3rd time. Maybe we'll see you sometime again in the near future. Hopefully we do, because I adore commentating alongside you as well. But hopefully our good friend Bryn should hopefully be back next week. If not, we'll keep you up to date, of course. Don't forget to follow One Hub Racing on Twitter. And don't forget also to find the links, of course, for next race. It is, I believe, is it on Twitch, Luke, or is it on YouTube?
Precision is on Twitch. They are underway now. They should be in the middle of the race, and just starting right now on YouTube is the Pinnacle tier.
Indeed. Well, we'll head off, of course. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, take care. Goodbye from Austria.